It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 Dick, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Stay upstairs. Another question. Go ahead.
David Poole again. Kyle, when you get into a zone like this, you know, you hear other athletes talking about being in the zone, and there was a stage earlier in the season when Carl Edwards probably felt like he could, you know, lose a lap and come back and win. You had the problem tonight and come back and win. Do you just come to the racetrack every day now thinking, okay, let's go win again?
No, not at all. I mean, you've got to stay humble in this sport. It's very, you know, anything can come out and bite you at any time, especially here at Darlington. It tried about 5 times, and fortunately for me, I just didn't hit hard enough to where I was able to come through here and still win the thing. But, you know, you look at racers from the past. I mean, Jeff Gordon's car was killed on the right side when he won his million deal, and so was Jeff Burton when he won here in the rain. Luckily, the rain came for him. I was watching that today. So, you know, there's a lot of heritage and history to this deal, but you know, you can't just think that you're going to go into the racetrack every weekend knowing you're going to win. You've got to think that you can win and try your hardest to be able to win. But you know, my dad taught me that at a very young age, that these deals don't come every single week. You know, you've got to go out there knowing that you've got a shot, knowing that you're the best driver, and knowing that you've got the best guys working for you, and that if you can give it all your all, then you know the best is what you can get that day.
Back downstairs for questions. Who has one? Go ahead. Got a couple in the back.
Kyle, Rick Flatford, Fox Sports Radio. A couple things. First of all, the first 100 laps or so, you pretty much trashed your car. You had several ways of describing it. What kind of changes were made? And obviously you're involved in those, and you're talking to Steve and so forth. Secondly, the comments sometimes on the radio that maybe are negative towards your team, if they're listening, are you worried about any kind of chemistry issue there when you talk about the car maybe being junk or you're less than happy with?
Well, I'll let Addington answer the second one, but as far as the first one, adjustments that we made, you just got to keep working on the thing. I mean, even though it might be bad and you're leading the race and it's not doing what you want it to do, you've got to work on it to make it better, because evidently somebody's going to come up and pass you, somebody's going to be able to race you, somebody's going to be just as good, if not better, than you are. So we made air pressure adjustments all night, right front, left rear, right rear, everywhere. And then we made some track bar adjustments and went up on that thing, and then finally got too far on that, had to come back down. And then we started making wedge adjustments, and so everything that we did was helping the race car, but it just wasn't its greatest. So, Steve, do I hurt your feelings when I tell you the car's bad?
No, I mean it don't bother me, you guys. It's just he's explaining that we need to work on this race car. We're going for the same goal. If it hurt my feelings, I believe I'd have quit a long time ago.
Another question in the back. Go ahead.
Dwight Drum, Racetape.com for JD. Do you think that champions in all sports have common traits and abilities, and what traits do you see in Kyle that could make him a champion?
Yeah, I will. You know, growing up around the NFL and kind of watching those guys, and people, what's different over here is over in the NFL, you got some guys with some really hardcore, you know, wild personalities, and when you get on that field, it's so passionate. Most people don't see that. Over here, you see it all the time. You know, so I think it's kind of a people think it's just different because as soon as you get out of that car, you get a mic put in your face. And so it's a little bit different than the NFL. And I would say as far as the championship, obviously we've been around Dale Jarrett, our first driver, Bobby Labonte won a championship. We've been around Tony, won a championship. I think for us, there's just a passion that those guys have. You know, and some of them, you might see it on their sleeve and real quick, but some guys are kind of quiet about it, but it's still there. And you'll see it. You might see it behind closed doors, but it's the same thing as seeing it out in front of everybody. So I just say everyone, all these guys are really passionate, you know, being around them and kind of watching them. They're so dedicated and focused that you got to make sure that they're seeing the whole picture at certain times.
Question in the corner. Go ahead.
Kyle, John Clayton of the National Speed Sport News. After the lug nut issue, you had to charge to the front. Were you concerned about driving wearing out equipment that you wouldn't have anything left for the end?
I was more worried about you know, trying to pass cars and come through there and getting tight and bouncing off the fence more times than I'd make a clean corner. But to be honest with you, it's just you know, a year ago or two years ago, I probably would have just thrown my hands up and wrecked the thing. But you know, I'm getting that much smarter, not much, but just that much smarter, to where I know that you know, we've got still a long race. I mean, if it would have happened 30 laps to go, I would have been junk. I would have just, you know, probably folded in half. But fortunately, it was still a long enough ways to go. Like last week or 2 weeks ago at Talladega, we had the same thing. I had a pit stop miscue. I didn't get in my box and had to drive through. We come around. There was still laps to go where we could rebound from it. So knowing that there was enough time to rebound from it, I just kind of laid back and stayed cool, tried to maneuver my way through traffic and do the best that I could. And, you know, fortunately, I was able to get through about half the guys. And then coming down pit road, my guys had another awesome stop in order to get me a few more. And then on that last stop, they got me out first. So, you know, that's all you can ask for from your pit crew, and they did an awesome job. And even though we had a fumble today, I still owe those guys a steak dinner. So they're pretty good all year. And most notably, they even got voted Mechanics Wear Pit Crew of the Quarter or something like that, I think. Yeah, so they're pretty good.
Question right here, and then we'll go to Dustin. Go ahead.
Ron the Master Zone MC. This is for JD and Steve. I saw Coach in the middle of a huddle when you had the lug nut problem, and again after the race. What did he bring to the table tonight as far as what went on down there?
It kind of frightened me at first. He was actually, they're looking at him for technical answers. So get him out of there. What's he going to do? He'll mess something up. No, I think he was just kind of talking with some of the crew guys. What was the issue? What's the problem? And what was neat about the whole situation, you wind up the 20-car guys went and took a set of their tires and brought them down to the 18-car guys, knowing there might be an issue with some of the glue or whatever it might be. And so watching the teamwork there and chemistry was kind of neat, and he kind of did a good job kind of heading that up.
Go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Kyle, I think this is 6 weeks in a row you've won some form of race, Nationwide Cup or even a late model. Can you put into perspective that type of run for you, or are you thinking more about maybe the races in that stretch that you didn't win as opposed to what you've done?
I think you've got it right, that I'm looking more at the races that I didn't win, you know, and what we need to do to improve on those than what I did and what I did accomplish and win. So, you know, the late model race, that was fun, but you know, Richmond, you know, the nationwide race, I struggled there with the Braun car, and we looked at things and tried to figure it out why we struggled so bad. Found some answers, not all of them, but and then on the Cup side, you know, we were pretty good all day. We ran second to Danny, which was cool. You know, I was going to be happy to finish second to Danny, and then Junior got a good pit stop, good adjustments at the end, and he was pretty strong. So missed out the opportunity there. And then you know, this weekend, yesterday's race, probably had a good enough car to try to win again there, and you know, screwed up and had issues with lap traffic. But overall, I mean, you look at races that you lose and why you lost them, and then you also look at races and why you won and what you could do better. And I've still got to talk to him and debrief here later about what my keys to winning were. And, you know, we're going to go through those and work on our car and make it better for next year when we come back here. And I'm sure the car will evolve even more. But still, I've got some issues that we can work on. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm not impressed with what I've done, and I'm very grateful and humble that I've been able to win 6 weeks in a row, yes. But I feel like there could have been more. And hopefully in the next couple weeks, you know, I can go to Charlotte next week. I can either win a truck race or an all-star race or both. That'd be awesome. And then going into the 600 weekend, either win the 600 or have a great race car in a nationwide race and try to win that thing. I mean, you go out there every weekend, like I said before, just trying to think. You have to think that you're the best. You have to know that you've got the best guys working on your stuff, and you've got to be able to go out there and make the best of it. So, you know, if we make the best out of it, and tonight, like we did, we won, then that's awesome. If we make it a second or third or fourth, you know, we just got to take what we get that weekend. And inevitably, whatever, this streak's going to end. You know, it's not going to keep going every single weekend. So I've just got to keep my smiles on, hopefully.
Any other questions? Anybody else? Okay. Congratulations, guys.
Hold that up high, Jenna. All right.
Congratulations, and good luck. We'll see you at the All-Star.